Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Genki. Hi everyone. Hi everyone, I'm Erica and welcome to Filipino Top Words. For today, we will learn the 10 phrases you never want to hear. So let's begin. Nadagdagan ba ang timbang mo nitong nakaraan? Have you gained weight recently? The first phrase you won't ever want to hear is, nadagdagan ba ang timbang mo nitong nakaraan? In English, have you gained weight recently? I don't know. I also don't like hearing it, but I don't mind it. But I don't like hearing it. This is nicely put, actually. So for Filipinos, they would ask you directly, they would not ask you, they would comment on you. Oh, you look fatter, right? Or you look bigger. So in Filipino, you got a bit bigger or you got fatter, you became bigger. In Filipino is tumaba ka. But usually like that, like aunts, they see you, for example, you've been away for quite some time, you come back and then your aunts will be like, oh, tumaba ka. Right? Especially in the Philippines, you get lots of food every time you go to a restaurant. And there's another thing. Usually, you have your rice, right? And then you have your meat. And then you eat your rice with your meat. And then you realize, oh, I still have some more meat left. Then you'll get another serving of rice. And then you eat your rice. And then you eat your meat. And then you realize, I don't have any more meat, but I still have rice. And then, okay, I'll get another serving of meat. And then it's like, and it happens, you know. Mayroon kang puting buhok. You have gray hair. So the next phrase that you won't ever want to hear is mayroon kang puting buhok. Or in English, you have gray hair or white. When someone tells me I have gray hair, I immediately try to have it pulled. For me, for instance, I'm always like concerned. I just want my hair to be always like this, really shiny black. And then, so we take care of it, right? Like, you cover your hair also when because too much sun can make your hair, what can damage your hair, like make it a bit lighter, almost brown. But I want my hair always to be black, so I'm kind of really very, like, careful with it. Sinabi ko na sayo. I told you so. Sinabi ko na sayo. Or, I told you so. Who wants to hear this? No one, right? In any other language, no one to hear this, I think. Right? Because it just like drives your mistake into your face. Like, you did this, I told you so, you should have done this. And if you're Filipino, your immediate response would be, obvious ba? Or isn't it obvious? Just like, leave.
Like, ano nga yun?
Because Filipinos can be very sarcastic also. So they would just be like, yeah, it happened. So, nothing can be done. So, what's the point of saying, I told you so? Tanggal ka na sa trabaho. You're fired. Tanggal ka na sa trabaho. Or, you're fired. So, if you're at work, do your job properly because they're paying you. Then might as well do it, right? Hindi ikaw ang problema. Ako. It is not you. It is me. The next phrase that you don't want to hear, especially if you're splitting up, is hindi ikaw ang problema. Ako, basya, ako. Charot. Which in English is, it's not you. It is me. Okay. It's you then. If you insist, go ahead. Salamat sa pagpapadala ng iyong resume. Ngunit, ang posisyon ay napuno na. Thank you for your resume. However, the position has been filled. The next phrase that no one ever wants to hear is actually not a phrase. It's actually 2 sentences. But still, you don't want to hear or you don't want to read, right? Is, salamat sa pagpapadala ng iyong resume. Ngunit, ang posisyon ay napuno na. Or, thank you for your resume. However, the position has been filled.
Next.
But this is a nice thing actually to receive, especially if you're applying, right, for jobs, because you're not left just waiting. So at least you know, okay, this is not for me. I'm going to move on, look for another boyfriend or another girlfriend. Usually goes. Dapat tayong makipagkita sa ibang mga tao. We should see other people. The next phrase you hopefully won't hear is, dapat tayong makipagkita sa ibang mga tao. Or, we should see other people. I don't know why it's so sad. It's all about rejection. So, hopefully you don't get to experience this. Kailangan natin mag-usap. We need to talk. So, the next phrase that you don't ever want to hear is, kailangan natin mag-usap. Or, we need to talk. I think in any circumstance, this is not a nice phrase to hear, right? Whether it be your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your boss, then this is never a nice phrase to hear. So what do you do when someone tells you, we need to talk?
Magrosaryo ka.
Well, because we are Filipinos and we're religious, then we start praying at the rosary. Ang pangit mo. You're ugly. Next phrase that you definitely don't want to hear directed to you is, ang pangit mo. Or, you're ugly. I mean, who would say this? Is there anyone who will say this? Will anyone say this?
Super mean.
Are you a kid to say this?
Yeah.
I think only kids say this, right? And even kids nowadays are kind of a bit like politically correct. They don't really just say you're ugly. You are ugly. So if someone tells this to you, then just unfriend this person. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Pasensya na, nakalimutan ko. Sorry, I forgot. Pasensya na, nakalimutan ko. Which in English is, sorry, I forgot. This is very useful actually, but if it's directed to you, and for instance, the thing that was forgotten is very important, then you don't want to hear this. Say, your boyfriend to buy bread on his way home, right? And he forgot, so you don't have breakfast. So, can you eat, sorry, I forgot?
So you just break his face.
So that's it for this lesson. Hope you learned phrases that you don't want to hear. Don't try using those phrases because otherwise you will also hear more phrases that you don't want to hear. Don't ever want to hear. So are there any other phrase that has been said to you that you realize you don't like? If there are, please don't forget to comment them down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want more lessons in Filipino, go to filipinopod101.com and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. I hope you won't have any problems with your partners. And always stay in love because the problem is you, not me. Hi, my name is Erica and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Our lesson for today is how to respond to how are you. Let's go. Kamusta? Kamusta? How are you? So the first word is, how are you? In Filipino, kamusta? So this is very useful when you pass by someone, you want to know how they are, right? Or you just want to ask someone how they are. At ikaw? At ikaw. And you? At ikaw? Or in English, and you? How do you usually respond when people ask you, how are you? And you? So if you are trying to avoid answering this question, you can ask, at ikaw? Or, and you? Probably you're like feeling too tired from work or something, right? Or you can, like casually, more people would say, ikaw? Or just simply, ikaw? It all means, and you. So it's a kind of like a nice gesture if someone asks you, how are you? And then you want to ask the same question because you just want to be nice. Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? How have you been recently? So if you want to be more specific about asking them how they are in a certain period of time, you can ask, kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Or, how have you been recently? So, probably you would have friends that would have gone to vacation or would have found a new job or would have graduated from university, which is all me. And then, you can ask them, how have you been recently? Mabuti ako. Mabuti ako. I'm fine. So how do you answer all these how are you questions and variations of how are you? First, you can say, if you are really feeling this, mabuti ako, or I'm fine. Of course, you can say it if you're not fine, right? I mean, if you just want to because sometimes when you say, I'm not so okay, I'm feeling a bit down, then they would ask you more things. But sometimes if you don't want to answer any of these things, but you are not fine, you can still say, I'm fine. But in Filipino, you ask people how are you because you want to know how they are. Or we don't really say this as a greeting. Okay naman ako. Okay naman ako. I'm not bad. Aside from I'm fine, how can you respond to how are you? You can say, okay naman ako, or I'm not bad. So if you are feeling like saying that you are not so fine, but you are also not fine, you can say, well, I'm not bad. It's okay. Everything's cool. But I'm crying inside. I'm dead inside. Okay. Inaantok ako. Inaantok ako. I'm sleepy. If you're feeling sleepy, you can say, inaantok ako, or I'm sleepy. After lunch, usually that's the time when you feel this, you're really sleepy. Even though you have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy, or sometimes you don't have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy. So, you can say it. It's valid, it's okay. Just don't say it to your boss. I don't think, if your boss asks you, how are you? I'm sleepy. Oh, that's not really good. Well, probably should go home, not come back anymore. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. That's how it will go, right? Masama ang pakiramdam ko. Masama ang pakiramdam ko. I'm feeling bad. Or if you are not feeling so well, you can say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Or, I'm feeling bad. So, you can say this if you have a bit of cold, for instance, or your stomach is upset, or what else? Or you have a broken heart, those kinds of things. So if you want to say that you're feeling bad, you say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Okay ako. Okay ako. I'm okay. But what if you're just fine? What if you're just okay, but you don't want to say, I'm fine? Or mabuti naman ako, or ayos naman ako. You can also say casually, okay ako, which is very casual. Very simple, okay ako. Okay na okay ako. Okay na okay ako. I'm great. If you want to say that you are really doing great, then you can say, okay na okay ako. You would have to note that in Filipino, when you repeat words, it, what's it called? It's a superlative version of the adjective, kind of. But it's not. But it's kind of amps up the impact of the adjective. So it's equivalent to very. So you would say, okay na okay ako, meaning I'm super duper okay, right? Or if you're really, for instance, sleepy, you would say, antok na antok ako, instead of just saying antok ako, right? Salamat sa pagtatanong. Salamat sa pagtatanong. Thank you for asking. And for instance, you were feeling bad, and then this person that asked you, how are you, made you feel happy, then you can say, thank you for asking, or salamat sa pagtatanong. Because of course, you felt happy that someone asked you, especially if you're feeling bad. So that's it for the end of this lesson. Hope you learned something new. And what do you usually say to your friends, your colleagues, people who ask you how you are? And how do they respond to you? Leave them in the comment section, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and visit filipinopod101.com to learn more Filipino. Salamat! Hanggang sa muli!
Hi everyone, I'm Ice from FilipinoPod101.com. Do you know how to say I love you in Filipino? In this lesson, you learn 3 different ways to say I love you and a special phrase for Valentine's Day. Let's start with the most common phrase. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. I love you. This phrase is direct. You should use it only when confessing your love. If you want to be less direct, you can use this phrase. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. This means, you mean so much to me. Now, if you want to be more romantic and expressing your love for someone, here's a phrase for you. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. This means words cannot describe my love for you. Now you know 3 different ways to say I love you in Filipino. And here's one more. What if you want to spend Valentine's Day with someone special? In that case, you can say, Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? This means, will you be my Valentine? Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. Listen to the expression and repeat after me. I love you. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. You mean so much to me. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. Words cannot describe my love for you. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. Will you be my Valentine? Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? Well done! Here's a fun fact. Do you know about the Filipino courting tradition called harana? Harana is the tradition of serenading the person you're trying to woo from outside their house. It takes a lot of courage, but don't worry, you can have your friends back you up and play the guitar for you. You just learned 3 different ways to say I love you in Filipino, and 1 special phrase for Valentine's Day. I'll see you next time. Paalam. Filipino
It's probably
kind of a lot of you. And here's one more. Well done. Rare, medium rare.
I'm trying to be quiet.
Shh.
Funny.
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at FilipinoPod101.com.
Hi guys, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. I'm Erica, and for today we will be learning about Filipino foods. So, you probably know, or you probably don't know, that there are many different and delicious Filipino foods. Adobo. Adobo. The first food that everyone should know about is adobo. In English, we also call it adobo. Adobo ang paborito kong pagkaing Pilipino. Adobo is my favorite Filipino dish. So actually, adobo is the first thing that I've ever learned to make. It's the easiest, so you just need soy sauce, vinegar, bay leaf, or laurel leaf, whatever you call them. Sometimes people call them bay leaf, sometimes laurel leaf. And peppercorns, right? And then just boil it boil those things together with pork or chicken or pork and chicken, depending on what you want to eat. And then everything will be nice and soft. Chicharon. Chicharon. Next is chicharon. In English, chicharon. Ang chicharon ay gawa sa balat ng baboy. Chicharon is made from pig skin. So it's actually crackling pig skin. Yeah, it's very crunchy. But I saw some show where they made chicharon by putting it in the oven. And I put it in the oven, and then afterwards it came out really crackling. So that's how they made it. But I don't know if that's actually how you make it. I think the most popular brand of chicharon is Lapids. So if you want to try chicharon, try the Lapids chicharon. Just remember that's not very healthy. Try it, don't eat too much. You can also eat it with rice actually. Durian. Durian. Next food is, or fruit is durian. Or actually just durian. Masarap ang durian kahit na may amoy ito. Durian, or durian, is delicious even if it doesn't smell good. Yeah, it actually doesn't smell good. But it tastes nice. To me, it just tastes like jackfruit. I don't know about you. If you want to try durian, you go to the southern part of the Philippines. That's where you can get them cheaper. Yeah, fresher, more potent smell. Go to Davao, get them there fresh, and it's really good. Halo-halo. 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 In English, halo-halo. Tuwing tag-araw, mabenta ang halo-halo. Every summer, halo-halo sells well. So halo-halo is made up of crushed ice with some sweet beans, with different fruits, and sometimes, what other stuff? Nata de coco, or like sweet coconut things. And also leche flan or caramel flan. That's actually how it is, like caramel flan. Or sometimes, what is it? Sweet yam. You know yam, right? Ube. And then sometimes, in some stores, they put ice cream on top of it. When I was young, my aunt actually sells halo-halo. So every summer, she makes halo-halo. And those are the best halo-halo. I don't really like halo-halo in other places. I only like her halo. But she didn't make them anymore because the way you make the crushed ice, it's very manual. Everything is manual. You have this small device, right? You know it, like, to do this with the ice. It's not like you buy crushed ice already. So you have this small, like this device. So for every what's this glass of halo-halo, it takes a lot of time for you to get crushed ice. So my friend here drew halo-halo. And this is it. So this is the crushed ice. And these are the stuff that you can put inside, like sweet beans, some fruits, and then this is the caramel flan or the pudding. And then sometimes they have ice cream here. And then you use the spoon to halo-halo or to mix everything. So that's it. Kare-kare. Kare-kare or peanut stew. Next food is kare-kare. In English, kare-kare. Or, if you really want to be fancy, peanut stew. Masarap magluto ng kare-kare si Joy. Joy cooks delicious peanut stew. If you've already noticed, we always like repeating words for the names of our food. Halo-halo and kare-kare. Before when I was young, I only get to eat kare-kare during fiesta. Because it's kind of an expensive food to make. Because traditionally, you would make kare-kare with, how do you call this part? Yeah, tuwalya. How do you say it?
Innards.
Like,
Intestine wall?
something, I think, it's stomach walls, stomach lining,
walls,
right? Originally, it's with stomach lining. So I think that's kind of hard to combine. A bit expensive because you make it with cow innards, right? But it's really good. And then now, people like to eat the fast food. So there's lots of mixes for kare-kare. And when you really want to make kare-kare, you have to grind the peanuts by hand. Everything by hand, right? To make peanut paste. But now you can just buy mixes and stuff. But still, the original kare-kare is very good. Now you can make it with pork, with beef, with chicken.
Or just vegetarian.
Or you can just use vegetables if you want to be vegetarian. Because it actually has lots of vegetables. Because even though it's peanut sauce, it actually doesn't have, what do you call this? It has taste, but it's not salty, it's not sweet, as if there's no taste at all. So there's taste, but there's no taste at all. It's kind of weird. So you eat it with shrimp paste, or in Filipino, bagoong. Oh, it's so delicious. Okay. But I cannot eat paraga. It's not festa yet.
Yeah.
Lechon. Roasted suckling pig. Next is lechon, or roasted suckling pig. Tuwing Pasko, hindi mawawala ang lechon sa pagkaing Pilipino. Every Christmas, roasted suckling pig is always present in Filipino dishes. Lechon is expensive, so you only get lechon. It's an entire pig that's roasted. So usually, you roast it for a long time because you want everything to be even, right? The way it's cooked. And then at the end, you will get this really like crackling skin. Yeah, very, very crispy. And then you eat it with liver sauce. That's the best. You only get this usually every big festivals or in some families, Christmas. We don't do lechon for Christmas because in the city, you cannot really do actual lechon. But you can buy lechon. What happens is, you get lechon on Christmas, and then the next few days, you get lechon paksiw, which is the meat of the lechon cooked as a stew, right? With the liver sauce, and it's very good. That's my favorite, actually. I like lechon paksiw more than lechon. So this is lechon. I don't know if you can see. Aren't we going to insert pictures here? Here on this side, you will see lechon. Mangga. Mango. Mangga, or mango. Mura lang ang mangga sa Pilipinas. Mango is cheap in the Philippines, and we have the best mangoes. I have a Thai friend. He admits that we have. And those red mangoes that you get in the store, they're not real mangoes. If you want to try real mangoes, go to the Philippines. Yeah, so we have two kinds of mangoes, the yellow ones and the green ones. The yellow ones are the usual, very sweet, very fragrant, best fruit in the world mangoes. The green one is the slightly sour ones that we call actually Indian mangoes. I don't know why. Because they're sour and because Filipinos really like to combine tastes, sweet, spicy, sweet, salty, sour together. So we eat this sour green mangoes with shrimp paste. Or sometimes salt if you don't have shrimp paste. And it's really delicious. We eat that always in high school after class. Sinigang. Sinigang. Tamarind soup. Sinigang. Or sinigang. Or tamarind soup. But actually, it's not just tamarind soup because you can have sinigang based in guava, sinigang based in some other sour things. Masarap ang sinigang dahil sa saktong asim na lasa nito. Sakto. Tamarind soup is delicious because of its pleasantly sour taste. So, you can make sinigang with pork or with shrimp or with fish. But my favorite is pork sinigang. What is yours? Pork also. Before when I was young, I liked shrimp sinigang. But then I realized I like shrimp better in either curry or just in butter sauce because shrimp is better in butter sauce. So, sinigang is best with pork. Dinuguan. 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 Or in English, dinuguan. Ang dinuguan ay ang dugo ng baboy. Dinuguan is pig's blood. Oh, but I like it. I like dinuguan a lot. Especially if dinuguan has more meat. Because some dinuguan doesn't have any meat at all. Just like the pig's blood. It's not pig's blood. It's coagulated pig's blood, isn't it? No, just a bit of coagulation there. But it's like a stew kind of pig's blood. How do you say it? What does it mean? But it's very delicious. And I like eating it with rice because we eat everything with rice, right? Next is sisig. Sisig. Everyone's favorite, sisig. Or, in English, sisig. Ang sisig ay mas masarap pag sisling sisig. Wow. Sisig is even more delicious if it's sizzling. I think the original idea of sisig is chopped pig's face. So the meat that you use there in sisig is pig's face. So you just cut up everything, and then add some lime, liver, and then cut up everything, and then make it to a sizzling plate. So everything is as if it's fried, right? And then you add some, what's this? Like spicy things. Now in many restaurants, you can order sisig in, say, pork sisig, right? Or tuna sisig. Oh. Tuna sisig is really good. That's it for today's lesson. Hope you learned something new. And have you ever tried any Filipino food? If you've tried something that we haven't said, please comment them down below and tell us if you like them or not. Or if you have tried the ones that we have said, please comment them down below and tell us if you like them. And hopefully you did. Because if you don't, then go. Get out. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more Filipino, head on to filipinopod101.com. Till the next lesson. Nagbabago. Ano nga? Hanggang sa muli. Hello sa inyong lahat. Ako si Erica. Ang Kwaresma ay binubuo ng 40 araw mula Miyerkules ng Abo hanggang Huwebes Santo. Ang huling linggo ng Kwaresma ay tinatawag na Semana Santa at nagtatapos sa linggo ng pagkabuhay. Sa lesson na ito, malalaman natin kung ano-ano ang ginagawa ng mga Pilipino para obserbahan ang Kwaresma at ang Semana Santa. Alam niyo ba kung saan nanggagaling ang abo na ginagamit tuwing Miyerkules ng Abo? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Ang Miyerkules ng Abo ang unang araw ng Kwaresma. Sa araw na ito, halos lahat ng tao ay nagsisimba at naglalagay ng hugis krus na abo sa kanilang mga noo. Simbolo ang abo ng pagiging pansamantala ng buhay. Ito rin ay simbolo ng pagtanggap ng pagiging makasalanan. Sa buong 40 araw ng Kwaresma, marami sa mga debotong Katoliko ang nag-aalay ng isang sakripisyo bilang uri ng pagsisisi sa kanilang mga kasalanan at bilang paggunita sa paghihirap ni Hesukristo. Sa mga araw na ito rin, ipinagbabawal sa mga Katoliko ang pagkain ng karne at pinapayuhan ng lahat na mag-ayuno. Ang pinakaimportanteng panahon kung Kwaresma ay ang huling linggo na tinatawag na Semana Santa. Halos buong linggo ay idinedeklara bilang pampublikong holiday. Sa linggong ito, isinasagawa ng mga deboto ang pabasa ng pasyon, prosesyon, bisita iglesia at salubong bilang mga paraan ng pagninilay at pagsisisi. Alam niyo ba na ang 40 araw ng Kwaresma ay bilang pag-alala sa 40 araw ng pag-aayuno ni Jesus? Sa Latin, ang Kwaresma ay tinatawag na Quadragesima, na ang ibig sabihin ay ika-40. At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Alam niyo ba kung saan nanggagaling ang abo na ginagamit tuwing Miyerkules ng Abo? Ang abo ay nanggagaling sa mga palaspas na binendisyonan noong linggo ng palaspas ng nakaraang taon. Ang paglalagay ng abo sa noo ay isang paalala na ang tao ay nagmumula sa abo at magbabalik sa abo sa dulo ng kanyang buhay. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? Paano nyo inoobserbahan ang Kwaresma? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson!
Hello guys and welcome to Filipino Top Words. I'm Erica.
And I'm Ice.
And for today, we will learn about the 10 reasons to learn Filipino.
Filipino!
Ano ba yun? Ako muna, ikaw. Ikaw
Wait,
muna.
so why should you learn Filipino?
Why?
Because...
Number 1 reason is because ito ay isang magandang wika. It's a beautiful language. Ito ay isang magandang wika. Or, in English, it's a beautiful language. Is it?
Is it?
Formal Filipino is very beautiful language. It's a very romantic language, right? If you read, say, novels written in Filipino.
Like the old ones?
Yes.
Like Florante at Laura?
Yeah, Florante at Laura, which is, what's Florante? It's like our own version of Romeo and Juliet, right?
Yeah. But like with monsters?
Yeah. It's a bit of fantasy.
Yeah.
You say, like,
Maybe
everything
it's our
fantastic.
own version
Yeah.
of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's our Game of Thrones. Laro ng trono. Next reason is,
Para makipag-usap sa mga kaibigang Pilipino. To chat with Filipino friends. Para makipag-usap sa mga kaibigang Filipino. Which is to chat with Filipino friends. If you want to really be close to your Filipino friends, it's really better if you know how to speak the language. And yeah, we all could understand English, but
yeah,
it's more fun in Filipino.
there are jokes that you can only say in Filipino, that they're only funny in Filipino, right?
For example, si Dan ay nag-aaral ng Filipino para makipag-usap sa mga kaibigang Pilipino. Dan is studying Filipino to chat with Filipino friends.
Good for you, Dan.
Mahusay, Dan.
Good, Dan. Next reason is, para makapagsalin. To do translations. Para makapagsalin. Or, to do translations. Nagsisikap ako mag-aral ng Filipino para makapagsalin. I am doing my best to study Filipino to be able to do translations. Do you need to do translations in Filipino?
I guess it's still better to translate if like there are some things that not all Filipinos would know if it's in English, so
Yeah.
I think there is still some jobs that involve like translating to Filipino. Or actually maybe it's the other way around, like you translate the Filipino works into English.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, oh, you're doing that. Para makanood ng pelikula na walang subtitle. To watch movies without subtitles. Para makanood ng pelikula na walang subtitle. To watch movies without subtitles. Yeah, like, there are a lot of Filipino films, and, like, I guess they would not be, like, in pure Filipino, but, like, you know, Tagalog English. Because that's usually how people talk in real life.
Yeah.
It's a great reason to learn.
Especially,
Filipino.
I think, now that our indie movie industry is booming.
Exactly.
So there's those kinds of movies that deal with concepts that are kind of hard to translate in English. So it's best if you, like, have those subtitles so you can be guided, right?
It's best if you don't need the subtitles.
Yeah, actually. So you already understand everything.
Yeah. For example, 3 taong tuloy-tuloy nag-aral ng Filipino si Mary bago siya nakanood ng pelikulang walang subtitle. Mary studied Filipino for 3 straight years before she was able to watch movies without subtitles. Wow, 3 years? Do you think they could do 3 years? It's easier to understand movies because you see the reaction, like, you know, non-verbal communication is still very important.
So you put it into context, right?
Yeah.
The words being said. So actually, that's easier if you watch it in movies than just like reading books. Next reason is, para manirahan sa Pilipinas. To live in the Philippines. Para manirahan sa Pilipinas. To live in the Philippines.
Because
it's more fun in the Philippines. It's also more traffic. It's also hotter.
Depends on where you're coming from.
So, for example, si Yutaro, that's in Filipino, right? Yutaro. You don't say Yutaro. Si Yutaro ay maninirahan sa Pilipinas, kaya siya nag-aaral ng Filipino. Yutaro will live in the Philippines. That's why he's studying Filipino. Para maintindihan ang lyrics. To understand song lyrics. Para maintindihan ang lyrics. To understand song lyrics. For example, hindi ko inakalang malalim pala ang ibig sabihin ng kantang ito hanggang sa naintindihan ko ang lyrics. I didn't know that the meaning of this song was deep until I understood the song lyrics. This very, very interesting reason. What we call like OPM, or original Filipino music, is a very big industry. And we like singing a lot. So we always have lots of deep, romantic songs, right? Really deep love songs that you would only appreciate it if you know the lyrics.
Just not just love songs, but
Yeah.
well,
Even like
maybe
jingle.
90%.
Yeah. Or maybe 90% is romantic songs. I don't know why. People are just like, they were hurt, those people.
I guess,
hurt them?
I don't
Okay, next.
Para makagawa ng bagong mga kaibigan. To make new friends. Para makagawa ng bagong mga kaibigan. To make new friends. It will make them comfortable if they are speaking in their own language, and like that's the time that you could know more about a person if they're in their most comfortable state, I guess. So
Yeah, and
like,
they can only share like things about their lives, right, if they're speaking in their own language. Because sometimes, for instance, you don't really speak English a lot, and then you have to tell someone about your life. Then you'd be like, no, English is very hard. I'm just not going to say anything to you anymore, right?
and a lot of the words doesn't really translate to English, so it's not as fun telling it if you have to like explain what this word means. Especially like names you call your family, like ate, kuya.
Ate or big sister, right?
This because like you would never call your big sister like, oh, my big sister.
Yeah. Even for me, when I tell my foreign friends about my mom, I don't like. It's kind of weird because I just call her mama. She's not the mom. She's a mama. So it's like weird.
Mama-san. For example, palakaibigan ang mga Pilipino, kaya gusto kong matuto ng Filipino para makagawa ng bagong mga kaibigan. Filipinos are friendly, so I want to learn Filipino to make new friends. There are two kinds of Filipinos. One is the person and one is the language. And if you translate if you translate both to Filipino, they actually become two. Filipino is the person and Filipino with
Is
the
the
F
language.
is the language.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that because they're both Filipinos in English, but they become Filipino
and
Filipino in
Yeah.
Filipino.
In the same way that Philippines, it's not with an F, right? It's a PH. But if you make it into Filipino, you would say Pilipinas, which is with a P. That's why people living in the Philippines are called Filipino at Pilipina, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. Do not spell Filipino with a PH.
Yes.
It's F.
Yeah.
Para makapagnegosyo sa mga kumpanya sa Pilipinas. To do business with Filipino companies. Para makapagnegosyo sa mga kumpanya sa Pilipinas. To do business with Filipino companies. Balak palawakin ng boss ang kumpanya sa Pilipinas, kaya mag-aaral ako ng Filipino para makapagnegosyo. My boss plans to expand the company in the Philippines. That's why I will study Filipino in order to do business. I guess this is one major reason for people to learn languages is for business. It's the same thing like we've been saying. If you don't get the inside jokes, then you also don't get the inside deals.
Like making friends is one thing. Doing business is another. Because doing business actually involves money. So for you not to lose any money in this business, then
You better do your research.
yeah, and study your language. Para makapasok sa graduate school sa Pilipinas. To go to a graduate school in the Philippines. Para makapasok sa graduate school sa Pilipinas. To go to a graduate school in the Philippines. Para makapasok sa Universidad ng Pilipinas, nagsisikap si Jane mag-aral ng Filipino. In order to enter the University of the Philippines, Jane is studying Filipino very hard. Yeah, this is very important, but I think it's more important in socializing, right? And in feeling embedded in where you are. But it's not really important, I think, in attending classes in the university because in where we went to, in the University of the Philippines, the classes are in language. The classes, obviously, they're in language. The classes are in English, right?
Yeah.
And so you can go to, well, of course, your classmates and your teachers will speak Filipino, but everything is in English. Your textbook, your reading materials.
I guess there are some subjects which are in Filipino.
Yeah, in Filipino, of course, like humanidades.
Yeah. But like sometimes your teacher would still accommodate you and speak English most of the time if need be. But yeah, it's still important to learn Filipino if you want to like not be an outcast.
Yeah, so if you want, because that's very important in university life, right? For you to enjoy university life. So now that I'm in University of Tokyo, I'm so happy because I don't speak Japanese so much and I don't have friends. Okay, next.
Okay, next. Para magkaroon ng Pilipinong kasintahan, to have a Filipino lover, you definitely want to learn Filipino if you want to have a Filipino lover, or in Filipino, para magkaroon ng Pilipinong kasintahan. For example, nagsisikap si Rudy mag-aral ng Filipino para magkaroon siya ng Pilipinong kasintahan.
Go, Rudy.
Go. I support you. Rudy is trying hard to learn Filipino so that he could have a Filipino lover. Yeah, I guess...
Go, Rudy. Go, Rudy. Go, Rudy.
Oh my God.
It's going to help you actually because they would think you are cute, right?
Yeah.
That they would think you're trying. It's not so much that you really need to be fluent in the Filipino, but the idea is that you are trying and that speaks a lot about you.
Yeah, definitely.
And the most important thing is when you start fighting, they will definitely turn back to their language, right? Because they're really mad. So if you're really mad, then you will start speaking your own language. So for you to understand what they're babbling about, better learn the language. That's enough reason.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you for tuning with us today. Thank you for watching this lesson in Filipino. Oh my God.
Filipino top words. What is your reason for studying Filipino?
Yeah, please tell us in the comments. And if there are things here that you want to be clarified, I don't know.
Yeah, don't hesitate to put them down below. And like and subscribe to our channel.
If you need tips to have a Filipino lover,
Write them down.
right? Yeah.
Ice will help you.
No. And if
Visit
you...
filipinopod101.com for more Filipino lessons.
Yeah.
Thank
For
you.
more Erica, more
Ice.
Ice.
Hanggang sa muli.
Hanggang sa muli.
Paalam.
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Hello sa inyong lahat. Ako si Erica. Sa leksyon na ito, pag-uusapan naman natin kung paano ipinagdiriwang ang Chinese New Year sa Pilipinas. Ang pagdiriwang na ito ay sumusunod sa lunar calendar at pinangungunahan ng mga Chinese at ng mga Filipino-Chinese na naninirahan sa bansa. Ipinagdiriwang ito dahil sa mga katangi-tanging selebrasyon, pagkain at paniniwala na nakapaloob sa tradisyong ito. Sa lesson na ito, malalaman naman natin kung paano ipinagdiriwang ang Chinese New Year sa Pilipinas. Anong pagbati ang sinasabi ng mga tao tuwing sasapit ang Chinese New Year? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Isa sa paborito ng mga Pilipino, kahit na mga hindi dumadalo sa mga pagdiriwang ng Chinese New Year, ay ang mga pagkain na malimit ihanda sa panahong ito. Ang pinakakilala ay ang tikoy. Isa itong uri ng pagkain na gawa sa malagkit na kanin. Kamakailan lamang, iba't ibang kakaibang uri o flavor na ang nilalabas na akma sa panglasang Pilipino at Chinese tulad ng pandan at ube. Sinisimbolo ng tikoy ang pananatiling magkasama ng bawat miyembro ng pamilya. Dahil sa malagkitang tikoy, sinasabing ang pagkakaroon nito tuwing Chinese New Year ay magpapalagkit sa pagsasama ng mag-anak. Dahil sa dami ng mga Chinese na naninirahan sa bansa, ginawang opisyal na holiday ang Chinese New Year noong taong 2011. Kung babalikan ang kasaysayan, ang mga Pilipino ay nakikipagpalitan na ng mga produkto sa mga Chinese bago pa dumating ang mga Kastila. Dahil sa dami ng mga Chinese, inilagak sila ng mga Kastila sa Binondo, isang lugar sa Maynila. Napakasigla ng komersyo sa Binondo, kung saan napakarami ng mga negosyo ng mga Chinese at Filipino-Chinese. At ito rin ang sentro ng kasiyahan kung Chinese New Year. Pula ang itinuturing na pinakamaswerteng kulay at maraming tao ang nagbibihis ng pula sa araw na ito. Nagbibigay naman ang mga mas nakakatanda sa mga bata ng pera na nasa loob ng mga pulang sobre na tinatawag na angpaw. Hindi rin mawawala ang dragon dance, lion dance at ang magarang mga paputok. Ang mga lion at dragon dance ay sinasabing nakapagbibigay ng swerte at katatagan ng negosyo o ng pamilya. Itinuturing rin na ang mga mas mahabang dragon ay nangangahulugan ng mas maraming swerte. Alam niyo ba na ang Binondo ang pinakamatandang Chinatown sa buong mundo? Itinatag ito noong taong 1594. Ang ibig sabihin ng Binondo ay binondok o binundok na ibig sabihin ay mabundok at tumutukoy sa maburol na lugar ng Binondo. At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Anong pagbati ang sinasabi ng mga tao tuwing sasapit ang Chinese New Year? Sa Hokkien na sinasalita ng mas maraming mga Chinese at mga Filipino-Chinese sa Pilipinas, ang pagbati ay Kyung Hee Huat Sai. Pero karamihan sa mga Pilipino ang gumagamit ng Cantonese na pagbati na Kung Hei Fat Choi. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? Ipinagdiriwang nyo rin ba ang Chinese New Year? Paano nyo ito ginagawa? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson! Hi! I'm Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Today we are going to learn 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Salamat pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. Salamat pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. If you start learning now, you'll be one of those few foreigners who can amaze Filipinos. Isang taon lang ang kinailangan ko para maging mahusay sa pagsasalita. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Isang taon lang ang kinailangan ko para maging mahusay sa pagsasalita. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. So, I don't know how easy actually Filipino is for foreign people. I don't know if in 1 year you'll be able to speak it. Probably like the basics of it, right? Because Filipino, you don't really need to learn new alphabet. And also, some of the words are in Spanish. So if you kind of know Spanish, then you would most probably understand some of the words. But for you to be able to speak 1 year, I think, is fine. But for you to be able to actually understand all the nuances in the language, then 1 year is probably a bit too short. Makakapagsalita ako ng Filipino gaya ng isang Pilipino sa loob ng 3 taon. I'll speak Filipino like a native speaker in 3 years. Makakapagsalita ako ng Filipino gaya ng isang Pilipino sa loob ng 3 taon. I'll speak Filipino like a native speaker in 3 years. That's actually a good target, right? But of course, there are still so many things that you won't be, probably like inside jokes, right? Like, or especially since Filipino language is, like any other language, is continuously evolving, right? Because we have lots of slang now, right? Like slang that you get from American slang, and then also gay lingo, right? So all of those words, and then usually when you learn Filipino, you won't get to hear those slang or like street words. And most people actually use a bit of like casual, even in, they only use really formal Filipino in say formal situations, formal settings. So this is a good target, but good luck. 10 taon na akong nag-aaral ng Filipino. I've been learning Filipino for 10 years. 10 taon na akong nag-aaral ng Filipino. I've been learning Filipino for 10 years. That's actually very good. I mean, for me, for us, like English, we take so many years and still there's some things that you cannot understand. So for instance, we learn English, like standard English, right? And then you talk to, say, an American or to a British person. And then there are so many words that you cannot understand. But you cannot understand them because these are like, but it's like the usage of the words is different from how you learned it from the dictionary. Sometimes when you speak to them, you sound so formal. 10 years is very good.
Kaya kong manood ng mga pelikulang Filipino nang walang subtitle. I can watch Filipino movies without subtitles. Kaya kong manood ng mga pelikulang Filipino nang walang subtitle. I can watch Filipino movies without subtitles. We are releasing so many indie movies recently. Those are really good movies, so please watch Filipino movies. And if you can see them without subtitles, very good. Kaya kong magkabisa ng higit kumulang mga 50 bagong salitang Filipino kada araw. I can memorize around 50 new Filipino words a day. Kaya kong magkabisa ng higit kumulang mga 50 bagong salitang Filipino kada araw. I can memorize around 50 new Filipino words a day. Oh, that's very impressive. I don't have memories. Masaya at madaling aralin ang Filipino. Filipino is fun and easy to learn. Masaya at madaling aralin ang Filipino. Filipino is fun and easy to learn. Yeah, which actually it is, right? I think it's easier compared to, say, Japanese or Chinese. Because as I've said, first, Filipino, you don't need to learn new alphabet, which immediately makes it easy, right? Because learning a new alphabet is very hard, right? I mean, if you say, for example, walk in the streets and then you can read the signs, that's already something. Because, say, you go to Japan, then you see all the signs, and you cannot read kanji, or hiragana, or katakana, right? Then you cannot, it's like as if you're lost. But at least with Filipino, then you can immediately read the signs. And then the next thing is, you learn the words. Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo. I completely understood everything you said. Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo. I completely understood everything you said. Yeah, so when someone tells you this, then they're amazed. Yeah, so that's why they're just like, oh, great. So for example, someone tells you this very long explanation about something. Then, as a Filipino, you can simply say, gets ko. Because that's very Filipino actually, which means, I got it. Marami akong alam na slang sa Filipino. I know a lot of slang words in Filipino. Marami akong alam na slang sa Filipino. I know a lot of slang words in Filipino. It depends also when you use the slang words, because not in all circumstances can you use slang words, right? Especially if you're just meeting someone for the first time, then you would want to be a bit more formal. Then becoming too formal is not natural. It can be seen as sarcastic even. Actually, I think the key to being thought of as fluent is like getting this balance of being like casual, natural, and also a bit like more formal, right? I think so. Nakakabasa na ako ng nobela sa Filipino. I can now read a novel in Filipino. Nakakabasa na ako ng nobela sa Filipino. I can now read a novel in Filipino, which is very good. If you read actual like old Filipino novels, it's very, what do you call this, like flowery. It's like it really evokes emotions when you read Filipino novels. It's actually hard to write in really, say, old poetic Filipino now. So that's it for today's Filipino top words. What sentence would you say to amaze us? But actually, we're easily amazed, so don't hesitate to write anything down below. Or comment, because you might comment negative things, right? Okay. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see other videos like this, then head on to filipinopod101.com. See you in the next lesson.
Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo.
Marami akong alam. Inay, ito na po ang inyong pansit. Na binili ko sa kanto. Inay, wag mo akong iwan, inay.
You are at a bus terminal where you're heading to a special hotel to check in for the first time. According to an email you received, what are the things that you need to provide to the staff at this special hotel? What are the things that you need to provide to the staff at this special hotel? The email says that you need to provide your confirmation number and your passport details.
Numero ng kumpirmasyon, mga detalye ng pasaporte.
Hello guys and welcome to Filipino Top Words. I'm Erica and for today we will learn about the 10 compliments you always want to hear. Ang guwapo mo. You're handsome. Two possible circumstances. First, if the person is really, really handsome. Second, if you want something from that person. So, for example, you want something done for you. You go to this person and say, "Oh, ang guwapo mo. Pwede bang pakitulungan ako?" In English, "You're handsome. Can you help me with this?" Ang galing mo. Or, "You're good." But this is very nice to hear, right? If your boss tells you, "Oh, you're good at what you do. Keep doing it." Then you say, "Oh, thank you. Can you raise my salary?" Right? So it's not about you being kind, but it's more about you were able to do something. Like you excelled at something. So in sports, for instance, or as I've said, in your job, you were able to do something very nice, then this is a proper compliment. So also if your friend helped you, and this friend actually did a very good job, for instance, then you would also say, "Ang galing mo," or "You're good." Mahusay kang kaibigan. You are an awesome friend. I don't really say this to my friends. I mean, we have more of like a love-hate kind of relationship, so. I mean, it's good if you actually say this more to people that you are not so close to. Yeah, because once you get close to a person, then you can actually insult this person.
Yeah.
And that's more like the kind of friendship that you will get, like more of like love-hate kind of, right? But then, of course, you want to compliment because compliments actually make you feel nice. And when you feel nice, you do things much nicer. So, this is something that you can tell your friend. You are an awesome friend. Mahusay kang kaibigan. Mas maganda palalo ang iyong kalooban kaysa sa iyong panlabas na anyo. Your inside is even more beautiful than your outside. I think if I'm your friend, I won't even like this because I want my outside to be more beautiful than my inside. Because I'm vain like that. I don't care about what you think of me inside. As long as you think I'm beautiful. I think more people are going to like that one than this. I mean, if you tell this to someone, what would that person say? And this person would probably say, "What do you think of me? I'm not beautiful on the outside." Right? It's not so nice, but you can try. Let's see how far you will go. But it's actually nice to compliment people inside. Kahanga-hanga ang iyong resume. Your resume is impressive. And this is very helpful when you are you're being interviewed. And if you hear this phrase, then that means you have a good chance of getting the job. Because that means your resume is actually very impressive for them. But sometimes, you know how HR people are, right? They just tell you, "Oh, your resume is very impressive, but I'm sorry, we found someone with a more impressive resume than you." So if someone tells you, "Oh, your resume is very impressive," then it also tells you that, okay, you're on the right track with whatever you want to be, right? So I think that's very helpful. Magaling or great job. Saya no, great job. So this is a common phrase, common compliment that you will hear. So you can use it in many different circumstances, like you accomplished something. So if you also troubleshoot something, you're able to do it, then your boss will say, "Oh, that's good job," or "great job," "better job," "best job."
Greatest job.
Bestest job. Bagay sa'yo ang jacket na yan. That jacket looks nice on you. After you compliment them on the inside, you also compliment them on the outside, right?
But your compliment only goes to the jacket, not per person. You can change jacket into whatever things. Bagay is, it fits you, right? So when you say bagay, other than it meaning a thing, right? Bagay also means it suits you. So you can say, that dress suits you. So bagay sa'yo ang bestida na yan. Or that hat suits you for whatever reason you're wearing a hat, right? So, or those glasses suit you. So that's actually a very useful compliment to learn. Maganda ang taste mo. You have good taste. So this is a very nice compliment if someone tells you, oh, you have very good taste in, say, furniture, right?
Furniture.
Or in clothes, or on, house decor, right? That's a very nice, because that means, we use the same word actually, taste. But usually we just say, maganda ang taste mo. Or okay ang taste mo, right? Okay ang taste mo. Which all means you have good taste. Maganda ang iyong ngiti. Your smile is beautiful. I think you only say this to your prospective partners. You don't say this to your friends, right? Because if you say this to your friends, they'll be like, what is wrong with you? Right? So, maganda means beautiful. So, you can replace ngiti with many other things. So, you can say, bag. Maganda ang iyong bag. Or, your bag is beautiful. Or, maganda ang iyong buhok. Or, your hair is nice. Right? Maganda ang iyong damit. Or, your clothes are nice. So, you can change ngiti to something more appropriate for the occasion. But if you're courting someone, maganda ang iyong ngiti can actually help. But then, whoever you're courting is going to be like, what? I think it would be much better if you say, maganda ang ngipin mo. You have good teeth. Ang ganda mo. You look gorgeous. Or you look beautiful. Or you look pretty, depending on the level of prettiness, right? Ang ganda mo, which means you look gorgeous or you look beautiful. Or you can also say, ang cute mo, right? Which means you look cute. And we say this like for small people. Ah, you're so cute, right? I have two close friends who are very, very petite. And they're really, really cute. They're like my kids. They're so cute. So, if you want to say that she or he is very, very beautiful, then you can just repeat words. So, ang ganda-ganda mo, ang galing-galing mo, right?
So that means
And then you can change your tone to make it sarcastic. So, if you think that this person is actually not really good at this job, but you want to be sarcastic, you can say, ang galing-galing mo. And we like being sarcastic in Filipino, so you will hear that a lot. And that's it for today's lesson, and hope you learned something new. If you have heard any of these, comment them down below, and what do you think is the most useful among these things? Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and if you want to learn more Filipino, visit filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa muli,
You've decided to study a new language, so now what? Well, you want to become fluent fast, right? Here are the top 5 shortcuts to learning a language. Number 1, create a study schedule and set some goals. Many language learners are unorganized. Creating a schedule allows you to free up time to study consistently. Goals give you motivation and something to strive for. Number 2, make it fun. If you learn how to make your study time enjoyable, chances are you'll be more inclined to study. Watch a TV show with subtitles or listen to some music. Number 3, find a language partner. This is the best way to improve your conversation skills. It will help you gain fluency even faster and increase confidence when speaking. Number 4, use word lists to build up a solid vocabulary. This is a great way to build up your fluency, one word at a time. Luckily, we have all the word lists you need, with a range of topics, from food to love. Choose whichever language you want to study and go. Number 5. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nothing helps you improve more than correcting your own errors. You're more likely to remember it correctly the next time around. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't be afraid to learn from them. There's no magical way to learn a new language overnight, but doing all of these can really help your learning process. And remember, if you're interested in getting on the fast track to fluency, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. Start learning now.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Our lesson for today is 15 must-know family words. Ta-da! Pamilya. Pamilya. Family. Our first word is pamilya or family. Anim kami sa pamilya. Anim kami sa pamilya. There are 6 people in my family. So in the Philippines, as usual, it's like when you ask people how many they are in their family, some would ask, oh, do we include all the extended members, the members of the extended family, or just the nuclear? Because there are cases when people live with with the members of the extended family, right? That makes for a really big family. Tatay, tatay, father. Tatay or father. Hindi nagagalit ang tatay ko. Hindi nagagalit ang tatay ko. In English, my father never gets angry. So my dad, he also doesn't get angry much. It's kind of weird because he's always like this mid-state between angry and not angry. But I remember when we were young, my sister doesn't really want to study well. She doesn't like take notes in school, and she's always in the toilet when there's like an important announcement by the teacher. I don't know why, how she can time that. So usually when she comes out of school, she doesn't know what happened in class, and she doesn't know the assignment. She doesn't know anything. There was one time that he got really mad, so he made giliw. That's my sister's name, giliw, which means dear in Filipino. It's like a very cute name. He was so mad, he made her kneel on, what do you call this? Mongo beans. Mongo seeds, right? Hello, giliw. Asawa. Asawa. Husband or spouse. Asawa or husband. Ang aking asawa ay binalak magpari, ngunit buti na lang, hindi natuloy. Ang aking asawa ay binalak magpari, ngunit buti na lang, hindi natuloy. My husband planned on becoming a priest, but I'm thankful he didn't go through with it. Who thought of this? So in Filipino, actually, when you say asawa, it can mean both husband and wife. So actually, the best translation for asawa is spouse, right? So when you want to specify that the asawa that you're referring to is male or the husband, you would say asawang lalaki, right? He could have been a priest saving the world, but yeah, thankfully, he didn't go through with it according to the sentence. Or probably he's now regretting his decision. We don't know. Anak na lalaki. Anak na lalaki. Son. Anak na lalaki. Or son. Si Ted at Tina ay may 4 na anak na lalaki. Si Ted at Tina ay may 4 na anak na lalaki. Ted and Tina have 4 sons. When you want to say son, you would add lalaki, which is male. So, anak na lalaki. Or, if you want to say daughter, then you would say anak na babae. Babae for female. Usually, you just say, oh, my kid. Right? My kid, actually. Ang anak ko, hindi na naman pumasok sa eskwelahan. My kid didn't go again to school. That was my mom's line every time we talked about giliw. Because giliw really doesn't like taking down notes. Kapatid na lalaki. Kapatid na lalaki. Brother. Kapatid na lalaki. Or, in English, brother. Ang kapatid niyang lalaki ay napakatalino. Ang kapatid niyang lalaki ay napakatalino. His brother is extremely smart. Here, kapatid again is a gender-neutral word, which means sibling. So if you want to say brother, you would add lalaki to kapatid. So it would be kapatid na lalaki. Or if you want to say sister, then it would be kapatid na babae. Babae meaning female. In the family, there's always ways of calling brothers, sisters, right? So for an older brother, you would say kuya. For elder sister, you would say ate. Tío, tío, uncle. Tío or uncle. Ang tío ko ay masipag. Ang tío ko ay masipag. My uncle is hardworking. So usually, younger people would call uncles as tito. So they would just call them tito. You can also say tito to anyone like a bit at the same age as your tito. For instance, like you meet someone and then you start talking to this someone, but they're kind of like more of a like mom, dad image. So you would call the dad image as like tito, right? Something like that. Lolo. Lolo. Grandfather. Lolo or grandfather. Magaling mag-Ingles ang aking lolo. Magaling mag-Ingles ang aking lolo. My grandfather has excellent English. Biyenang lalaki. Biyenang lalaki. Father-in-law. Biyenang lalaki or father-in-law. Ang aking biyenang lalaki ay nakakatakot. Ang aking biyenang lalaki ay nakakatakot. My father-in-law is scary. Nanay. Nanay. Mother. Nanay or mother. Walang katulad ang aking nanay. Walang katulad ang aking nanay. There is no one like my mother. Yeah, because my mom is weird. She's very funny. I don't know. I think she was normal. Now she's a mom. When I'm away, I talk to her on Facebook video, right? Video call. And then so I talk to her. And the first thing that she noticed after so many things that I discussed with her, like, oh, how graduate school is, blah, blah. And then her immediate reaction is, oh, did you change your sheets? Kapatid na babae. Kapatid na babae. Sister. Kapatid na babae. Or sister. May isa akong nakababatang kapatid na babae. May isa akong nakababatang kapatid na babae. I have one younger sister. So this is the same thing that we discussed earlier with the word kapatid. So it's a gender-neutral noun. And you can add lalaki or babae for male, female respectively to make it into a gendered noun. So for kapatid na babae, to mean sister, you added babae, which is female. Asawa. Asawa. Wife or spouse. Asawa or wife or spouse. Ang aking asawa ay dating sumali sa Miss Universe. Ang aking asawa ay dating sumali sa Miss Universe. My wife was in the Miss Universe pageant. Wow, lucky you. And this is again what we were discussing earlier about the word asawa, which literally means spouse. So if you want to put a gender on asawa, you would say asawang babae for wife or asawang lalaki for husband. So because of the context, then you can tell that the speaker is referring to a female spouse, right? Biyenang babae. Biyenang babae. Mother-in-law. Biyenang babae. Or mother-in-law. Ang aking biyenang babae ay napakabait. Ang aking biyenang babae ay napakabait. My mother-in-law is very kind. Oh, very lucky. You have a very scary father-in-law and a very kind mother-in-law. And we forgot to say something about biyenan, because biyenan again is a gender-neutral word. So biyenan just means in-laws, right? When you want to emphasize that you're referring to the mother-in-law, then you would add again the word for female, which is babae. So you would say biyenang babae. And then for males, you would say biyenang lalaki. Lola. Lola. Grandmother. Lola. Or grandmother. Hindi na ako namumukhaan ng aking lola. Hindi na ako namumukhaan ng aking lola. My grandmother can no longer recognize me. Oh, this is pretty sad. Katuwang. Katuwang. Partner. Katuwang or partner. Ang katuwang sa buhay ang iyong kasama sa hirap at ginhawa. Ang katuwang sa buhay ang iyong kasama sa hirap at ginhawa. Your partner in life is your companion through thick and thin. When you're thin and then when you become thick, that's what it means. Tia, tia, aunt, tia, or aunt. Mapagbigay ang aking tiya. Mapagbigay ang aking tiya. My aunt is generous, or tita, right? Now, being a tita is kind of like a frame of mind, right? You're lazy, you just want like nice things, you just like want to drink tea, you just want to relax, be like experience the not be not be sweaty. If you're a tita, you're in everyone's business. Aside from all those things that I said. So imagine, you always would have titas that ask you, why aren't you still married, right? There are always those titas. They just have so much time, right? Okay, guys, that's it for this lesson. Hope you learned something new. Don't become a tita yet. Who is your favorite member of your family? How many are you and your family? And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and visit FilipinoPod101.com to learn more Filipino. Hanggang sa muli!
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at FilipinoPod101.com.
Hello sa inyong lahat, ako si Erica. Gaya ng ginagawa ng ibang mga bansa, ipinagdiriwang din ang Araw ng Mga Puso tuwing ika-14 ng Pebrero sa Pilipinas. Pinaghahandaan ng maraming Pilipino, lalo na ng mga magkasintahan, ang araw na ito para ipaalala at ipakita ang kanilang pagpapahalaga sa kanilang mga minamahal sa buhay. Sa lesson na ito, aalamin natin ang mga romantikong kasanayan ng mga Pilipino tuwing Araw ng Mga Puso. Nagiging popular ang mga mass wedding tuwing Araw ng Mga Puso sa Pilipinas. Noong taong 2012, alam niyo ba kung ilang pares ang nagpakasal at nag-renew ng kanilang mga wedding vow? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Para sa mga magkasintahan at mag-asawa, hindi mawawala ang palitan ng tsokolate at rosas. Sa araw na ito, kahit saan ka mapalingon, may siguradong nagbebenta ng mga stuffed toys, rosas at mga tsokolate. At syempre, napakaraming mga magkasintahan ang nagde-date. At kung hindi nyo pa alam, maraming Pilipino ang tunay na romantiko. Kaya naman mula sa mga mall, mga restaurant, mga hotel, hanggang sa mga amusement park, napakaraming mga romantikong pakulo ang mayroon. Marami pa rin ang gumagamit sa araw na ito para magtapat at manligaw. Siyempre, kung panliligaw na ang usapan, hindi mawawala ang harana sa eksena. Isa itong tradisyon ng panliligaw. Mas ginagawa man ito noon kaysa ngayon, marami pa rin ang nakakaalam nito. Kung dati, ang mga kantang pangharana ay mga kundiman, ngayon, kahit anong romantikong kanta ay maaring kantahin. Mapa-OPM man o banyaga, basta kaya nitong ipahayag ang iyong nararamdaman, at kung may lakas ka ng loob, wala ka mang boses, maaari mong haranahin ang taong gusto mo. At malay mo, magustuhan ka rin niya. Siyempre, hindi namimili ang Araw ng Mga Puso sa Pilipinas. Ikaw man ay walang kasintahan, torpe, pakipot, o kaya naman ay pinili mo talaga na maging single, huwag kang mag-alala. Mayroon ring mga singles-only na party sa syudad. Malay mo, baka roon mo pa makilala ang nakatadhana para sa iyo. Ang mga guro ang karaniwang may pinakamaraming natatanggap na Valentine's card tuwing Araw ng Mga Puso. Kaya kung single ka at plano mong maging single habang buhay, ngunit ayaw mong maging tahimik ang iyong Valentine's, alam mo na ang swak na trabaho para sa iyo. At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Nagiging popular ang mga mass wedding tuwing Araw ng Mga Puso sa Pilipinas. Noong taong 2012, alam niyo ba kung ilang pares ang nagpakasal at nag-renew ng kanilang mga wedding vow? Noong taong 2012, higit sa 2,000 magkasintahan ang nagpakasal o nag-renew ng kanilang mga wedding vow sa mga mass wedding na isinagawa ng mga lokal na pamahalaan. Hindi mahalaga kung magarbo man o hindi, Ang mahalaga ay ang sumpaan na sila'y magsasama habang buhay at patuloy na mamahalin ng isa't isa. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? Anong ginagawa nyo tuwing araw ng mga puso? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson, hi, my name is Erica. And welcome. Hi, my name is Erica. And welcome to Filipino Top Words. Our lesson for today is 10 must know math words. Yay! Math! Matematika. Ma-te-ma-tika. Mathematics or math. Math in Filipino is matematika. How do we use math in a sentence? We can say, matematika ang paborito kong subject. Mathematics is my favorite subject. Matematika ang paborito kong subject. Is math your favorite subject? Well, it's not my favorite, but I don't also hate it. No, I like math, I think. Numero. Numero. Number. Numero. In English, number. Let's use numero in a sentence. Maraming tao ang ayaw sa numero. Maraming tao ang ayaw sa numero. A lot of people do not like numbers. A significant number of people do not like numbers. According to studies. But you cannot escape it because numbers are everywhere. If you are on a budget, numbers. If you're thinking of when you're going to get married, numbers. If you're planning a wedding, numbers. If you're looking for a job, numbers. Kalahati. Kalahati. Half. The next word is kalahati. In English, half. Kalahati ka ng edad ko. You are half my age. Kalahati ka ng edad ko. Well, I cannot yet tell this to anyone, except really small kids. Porsyento. Porsyento. Percent. Our next word is porsyento. In English, percent. Ilang porsyento ang income tax sa Pilipinas? Ilang porsyento ang income tax sa Pilipinas? How much is the income tax percentage in the Philippines? Even. 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 The next word is even. In English, even. Madaling hatiin sa dalawa ang mga even number. Madaling hatiin sa dalawa ang mga even number. It is easy to divide even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Anything ending in even numbers can be divided into 2. Odd. 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 The next word is odd. In English, odd. Kapag magbibigay ka raw ng pera sa kasal, dapat odd ang unang numero para hindi ito mahati. Kapag magbibigay ka raw ng pera sa kasal, dapat odd ang unang numero para hindi ito mahahati. They say that if you were to give money at a wedding, it should be an odd number so that it can't be divided. So it means that you should give odd numbered amount of money so that symbolically, right? So symbolically it means that the couple won't be separated, right? Magkalkula. Magkalkula. To calculate. Magkalkula. In English, to calculate. Kaya mo bang magkalkula ng mabilis? Kaya mo bang magkalkula ng mabilis? Can you calculate quickly? Can you? No, she cannot. Sorry. Dagdagan. Dagdagan. To add. Next word is dagdagan or to add. Pakidagdagan ng 5 pang order ng kanin. Pakidagdagan ng 5 pang order ng kanin.
Please add 5 more orders of rice. Wow, rice is life. Okay, I don't judge this person, but still like 5 orders of rice. Please eat whatever you want. Bawasan. Bawasan. To subtract. Bawasan. Or to subtract. Huwag mong bawasan ng tax ang mga nagpa-part-time job lamang. Huwag mong bawasan ng tax ang mga nagpa-part-time job lamang. Don't subtract the tax for those who are just working part-time. Hatiin. Hatiin. To divide. Hatiin. Or to divide. Hatiin natin ito sa 8. Hatiin natin ito sa 8. Let's divide this into 8. What else do you divide by 8? Just pizza. And cake. Or you probably get like 8 cups of rice. Divide this into 2. So that is the end of the lesson and hope you learned something new. Do you like math? Why or why not? So if you have any answer to that question, don't forget to put them in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and visit FilipinoPod101.com to learn more Filipino. Hanggang sa muli! So how do we... because couple that eats together stays together. Hi, Smithley!
Want to get cheat sheets, audiobooks, lessons, apps, and much more every month for free? Just click the link in the description to get your free language gifts of the month.
You are at a bus terminal where you're heading to a special hotel to check in for the first time. According to an email you received, what are the things that you need to provide to the staff at this special hotel? What are the things that you need to provide to the staff at this special hotel? The email says that you need to provide your confirmation number and your passport details.
Numero ng kumpirmasyon, mga detalye ng pasaporte.